Can I get some? There we go. My name is Troy Fisher. I go by the pronouns he, him, and I'd love to sing a morning song with you. We're not going to be in the hymn book. We're going to sing American songwriter Paul Simon's 59th Street Bridge Song, or as you might know it, Feeling Groovy. The words are in your order of service. I invite you to rise in body and or spirit, and if you're online, the lyrics will be posted in the chat. Slow down, you move too fast. You gotta make the morning last. Just kicking down the cobblestones, looking for fun and feeling groovy. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, feeling groovy. Hello lamppost, what you knowin'? I've come to watch your flowers growing. Ain't you got no rhymes for me? Do-do-do-do, feeling groovy. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, feeling groovy. I got no deeds to do, no promises to keep. I'm dappled and drowsy and ready to sleep. Let the morning time drop all her petals on me. Life, I love you, all is groovy. Thank you. Feeling groovy.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Olympia Unitarian Universalist Congregation Worship Service. We welcome each of you this morning to the celebration of love and to this congregation. The OUUC community comes together in the mutual promises and possibilities of our covenant. We envision an interconnected world that is loving, just, and healthy. We commit to live out our mission to welcome and wonder, embrace and empower, bridge and become. We're so glad that you are here. My name is Liz Clement. I use she and they pronouns, and I am one member of our worship arts team. Leading worship with me today is our minister, Reverend Mary Gear, Troy Fisher, our music director, and Reverend Sarah Lewis, our director of community and faith development. A few logistics before we begin. The service is being recorded and streamed live on Zoom and on YouTube. For those here in the sanctuary, you can see subtitles and view the chat on the screen here in front of the room. And if you'd like to use one of our hearing-assisted devices, please head back to the tech table in the corner there, and you can check in with our tech team who can help you. We also ask that you turn off any sound on your devices, and if you can, please turn on your Wi-Fi. That really helps us with streaming for folks here who are joining us remotely. It's up to each family and person, of course, how they want to participate here. There's an area with comfy chairs and fidget toys for all ages, which I see some of our friends have found. Please use them. That's what they're there for. Children of all ages, that means including me, are welcome here in the sanctuary. There's also nursery care and a story time program for children in our OUUC classroom wing down the hall. We are a multi-generational community and proud to be, and we value our young ones. Welcome, everyone. We're grateful for the many hands that helped make worship happen this morning, as always. Thank you to our ever-faithful ushers and greeters, to the kitchen crew, the tech team members, and all who contribute in so many ways. After the service, everyone will have the chance to discuss reflection questions offered by Reverend Mary. For those online, we invite you to go into a breakout room for a virtual coffee chat. For those in person, please feel free to stay for coffee and fellowship in the Commons. There are many opportunities to stay connected to our community. Please check our website regularly. If you have questions or need help, please check in with a staff member. Now, Let us open our minds and our hearts as we prepare for worship. Welcome, everyone. It is so good to be together. This morning and every Sunday morning, we join Unitarian Universalist congregations around the world in lighting a chalice, the symbol of our faith tradition. Please join me as we light our chalices this morning together with these words from Anastasie Biroche. We light this chalice, our welcome to share and our communion to declare. May this flame shine bright and afar to serve as our community's lodestar. All are welcome from everywhere.
Good morning. Our opening words this morning are offered by Margaret Wolf from her collection In Sweet Company, Conversations with Extraordinary Women About Living a Spiritual Life. I appreciate these words and as an aspiration for our community and for our time together. We sit together, and I tell you things, silent, unborn, naked things that only my God has ever heard me say. You do not cluck your tongue at me or roll your eyes. You stay with me in the dark. You urge me into being. You make room in your heart for my voice. I see my future self in you, just enough to leave the familiar in the past where it belongs. I breathe you in and I breathe you out in one luxurious and contented sigh. In sweet company, I am home at last. Come, let us worship together.
And let's sing together again. Hymn number 1040 out of the Teal Hymn Book. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. I invite you to rise in body and or spirit. If you're joining us online, you can find the lyrics posted in the chat.
Somebody's calling my name. story that I'm going to share with you today is based on this lovely book called Breathing Makes It Better, a book for sad days, mad days, glad days, and all the feelings in between. You are alive. And because you are alive, you have feelings, emotions, thoughts, just like every other person on earth. Sometimes you're glad, joyful, silly, calm, and sometimes you're mad, sad, anxious, or confused. And it can be uncomfortable. But if you sit with it and breathe in and out, you'll notice that just as the breath comes and goes, so do your thoughts and your feelings. They come and they go. When the day is just awful, it's just not going right, everything hurts, your heart aches. I invite you to put your hand on your heart and remember when things feel that way, when your heart aches. Be still, be here, and breathe. When I am sad, I am still. I remember the sun and its warmth and its light, and I breathe in and out, and peace is near. When everything seems uncertain and out of control a little bit, and your stomach has that feeling of like butterflies or nausea, put your hand on your stomach and remember when it feels that way. Just breathe. When I am anxious, I am still and I am here. I am like a mountain, strong and sure. Breathe in, breathe out. Peace is near. And then sometimes there's those days where you feel alone and there's just an emptiness inside of you. Your chest might droop. I invite you to sort of feel your shoulders and your chest and remember those days where it just feels lonely and empty. Be still. When I am lonely, I am still and I am here. I stand like a tree, tall and free, and breathe in and out, and peace is near. But what about those days when it's just unfair and your face feels hot and put your hand to your cheek and remember a time that felt like that. Be still. When I am angry, I am here, I am still. I float in the sky like a cloud. I breathe in and out, and peace is near. When things are confusing and your brain just feels numb and dull and you can't get a hold of anything, put your hand to your head and remember when it feels like that. When I am confused, I am still. I am here. I gaze calmly into a mirror, a lake that is so still and shows back my own reflection. I breathe in and out, and peace is near. You are alive, And because you're alive, you have feelings like everyone else. But as you breathe in and out, you can see those feelings come and go. Angry, happy, silly, anxious, sad, joyful. To feel is to be alive. To breathe is to be alive. And because you are alive, anything is possible. Thus ends our story.
Each Sunday, we express our gratitude by joining together in service to our community and to something greater than ourselves. The offering collected here today does two things. It supports the ongoing work of OUUC, which is also supported by your regular pledges. And this offering also supports an organization that serves our community in harmony with our Unitarian Universalist values. Our Share the Plate recipient for the months of September and October is the Olympia Free Clinic. Here's what they share about their work.
Hello, OUUC. I'm Katie Mattinger, and I'm the Executive Director. Hello, OUUC. I'm Katie Mattinger, and I'm the Executive Director at the Olympia Free Clinic. Thank you so much for selecting us for Share the Plate and for the ongoing support that your community has provided over the years.
And we have a backup plan too for when things don't always work out.
Hello,
So
OUUC.
what we'd like to share about the Olympia Free Clinic, they're a wonderful organization here in town, volunteer-based, where underserved community members receive healthcare services and linkages to community resources within caring and respectful environments at no cost to them. While most of the services are provided by volunteers, our contributions go to support vaccination efforts, purchasing medication, medical supplies, and other equipment that is so needed to provide their absolutely vital services in our community. You can participate in the offering by making a donation online through the church website or by texting the number that will appear on your screen, as you can see right now. You can also mail a check to OUUC or place your offering in one of the baskets being passed around by the ushers. We know, as always, that our financial contributions come from sacrifice and hard work, and that they're important. With gratitude, we commit together to ensure the funds we gather collectively do a greater good for both ourselves and for our world than they could have done ever alone. May this offering sustain and grow the life and mission of this congregation and of each of us as well. May we give in love, and may we give in hope.
Yes, I understand that every life must end. As we sit alone, I know someday we must go. Oh, I'm the lucky one to count on both hands the ones I love. Some folks just have one, yeah, others they've got none. Stay with me, oh, let's just breathe. Practiced all my sins, never gonna let me win. Under everything, just another human being. Yeah, I don't wanna hurt. There's so much in this world to make me bleed. Stay with me. Let's just breathe. Did I say that I need you? Did I say that I want you? Oh, if I didn't, I'm a fool, you see. No one knows this more than me. As I come clean, I wonder every day as I look upon your face. Everything you gave and nothing you would take. Stay with me. Let's just breathe. Stay with me. Let's just breathe.
We came together in community this morning, bringing everything that is in our lives. In this space, we share from our hearts what brings us joy and sorrow, what brings us worry and delight, what makes us afraid, and what makes us dance. Let's open our hearts to the complexity of all that is in our lives and in our world this day. If you have something you'd like to be shared in the service, look for the link on the online worship page on the website, or just send me an email and we'll bring it into the service next week. You will hear a drum beat as we share today. It brings into our awareness that our individual hearts beat, and together we create the heartbeat of our community. So right now, let's just take a breath together. In and out, as we open our hearts to receive the complexity of what is in our lives. Kim Danka shares that her father, Ron Tessin, died unexpectedly last week. Kim and her family are gathering to grieve and do all of the tasks that need to be done in the wake of such a loss and such a surprise. Kim, we send you our love and care to you and your family as you gather to mourn. Nancy May shares that her illness of pulmonary fibrosis is getting worse and it's becoming harder to breathe. I had the opportunity to visit Nancy yesterday, and she asks for our prayers as she continues this long journey into its next phase. Nancy, may you know that you have our love and care and our prayers for ease and peace. And last, this week marks the turning of the wheel, the change of the seasons from summer to autumn. And doesn't it feel like it? On the fall equinox this week, the day and night are equal before we move into the darkness of winter. On this day, may we find balance. For those online, I invite you to share from your heart by entering in the chat. This is a time to share all that you wish, your joys and sorrows and whatever else is shared from your heart. We can see your sharing on the screen in the sanctuary. For those in person today, I invite you to come forward if there is something you'd like to bring into the community. You may place a stone in the water as you hold your sharing in your heart. I invite you to come up by the center aisle and return by the side aisles. Let's hear the heartbeat of our community as we reach out our hearts in love and care to all those who share. We place a stone in the water for all that has been shared by those online today. And we will place one more stone in the water for all that we hold in our hearts and that remains unspoken. Let's take a moment now to harmonize our bodies and our breath. In a moment, I'm going to start humming, and I'm going to invite you to join me in humming. Just pick a note and hum. Doesn't matter what note. It can be loud or soft, whatever you choose. And as we listen to each other, you might stay on the note you chose, or you might change. You might go up or down. You might get louder or softer. Up to you. We'll hum for just a bit. And then when we are done, when our humming comes to a natural end, we'll be in silence for a time together. Ready?
I invite you to remain seated, and let's sing together Meditation on Breathing. It's hymn number 1009 in the Teal Hymn Book. There's 3 different parts to it, and you can sing whichever parts you want whenever you want to. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe
Thank you all for that. Our first reading this morning is from author and actress Valerie Kaur. Breathing is a practice of noticing your breath and letting it deepen. It is also the act of slowing down to care for our bodies, minds, and spirits. Taking the time to breathe, literally and metaphorically, is a way to assert that our bodies are worthy and beloved. Loving our bodies is the first and primal act of loving ourselves. Notice I say loving ourselves. I do not believe that self-care is an accurate term for what we need. We need community care. We need institutions and networks of relationships that work to meet our needs. Breathing in community is how we last. You deserve to last. Integrating breath-giving practices into your daily life doesn't need to be overwhelming or expensive. You can start where you are, right now, with what you have.
This is a picture of our cat, Simon. Oh, I'm getting one finger from the tech team, so that means it's coming. Simon's coming? One second. All right. Simon is coming. So Simon, as you'll see, is a cat. He's one of two cats that share our home. The other is Lucy, a ginger tabby. Simon is almost 15 years old, and we rescued him from a shelter almost 13 years ago. So my husband, John, and I tease that Simon didn't attend the class in kitten school about how to be aloof. He is much more like a dog than a cat. He prefers very much to be with his people, and he follows us. There's Simon. He follows us around, wanting to be held and petted or just to be close by. And when John works at his standing desk, Simon lays across his feet. Yeah. Nice in the winter, not so much in the summer. So Simon is an anxious cat. He seeks us out for comfort and safety. And Simon's favorite spot is right up next to one of us, or even better, between both of us, touching both of us at the same time. He will snuggle in and curl up in a ball like cats do, and then give a big sigh, as if to say, finally, things are as they should be. He is safe and secure, and all is right with the world. It's Simon's sigh, his breath, that I invite you to bring to mind, not his cat food breath, but his luxurious and contented sigh. Simon is not alone in wanting calm and comfort. It's a need and desire that we humans share with all other animals. And like other animals, our breath is controlled by the most ancient part of our brains. Some call it our dinosaur brain, some call it our lizard brain, some call it our survival brain. It's the part of our brain that keeps us alive, that tells our heart to beat and our lungs to breathe. It's also the part of our brain that processes our emotions and kicks in when we sense danger. It's the part that tells us to survive, to fight, flee, or freeze. These are automatic responses that have nothing to do with the thinking parts of our brain. They engage before our thinking even has a chance to begin. This is the part of our brain that's kept our species alive for over 200,000 years. A psychologist, Jonathan Haidt, describes our brains as a small rider on top of a large elephant. The rider is our thinking brain. The elephant is our survival brain. And we like to think that the rider is in charge all of the time, when in fact it is the elephant that is in charge most of the time. It's how we've been made as humans, or how we have evolved. So we can be grateful for our survival brain, our elephant brain. We must also be aware of its limitations. That part of our brain responds to events with immediate emotion, and it's wired to notice differences, telling us to react as if difference is dangerous. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. It takes engagement with our thinking brain to make an informed decision about danger and how we will respond. In the meantime, we have to be able to calm our survival brain long enough for our thinking brain to kick in. We have to tame the elephant before the rider can be involved. And that is where the breath comes in. Our breath is always with us, and it is a powerful tool for awareness and centering. When we notice our breath, we have the chance to focus our minds and calm our bodies. It is not by chance that in our worship services, I regularly invite us to slow down, to pause, and to breathe. I am reminded that ruah, the Hebrew word for spirit, is also the word for breath. When we worship together, we have the chance to step outside of ordinary time into sacred time. It's a chance to slow down and listen for spirit in whatever way we experience that. It's a time to breathe. So can you recall a time when you were with someone who was very anxious or agitated? When I'm in that situation, I find it so hard to be calm and focused. I suspect most people do, because anxiety is contagious. It's human. It's a human nature to respond to the feelings of those around us. And everyone gets anxious and afraid. Sometimes it's exactly the right response to fight, flee, or freeze. And sometimes it isn't. Noticing my breath is one of my go-to tools when I am anxious or afraid, or when I'm with someone who is. It's a tool that I regularly forget, and I have to return to it and remind myself again and again. And that's important, because just like anxiety is contagious, so is calm. A calm presence is also contagious. So having the tools to calm ourselves means that we pause to let our thinking brain engage so we can make the best decision about how we respond. We can't control other people, we can only control ourselves. And when we use our tools to manage our own anxiety and response, we give a gift to ourselves and to those around us. It's the gift of thoughtful presence and response. Psychologist Rollo May inspired these words: between stimulus and response, there is space. In that space is our power to choose our response. To slow down, to pause, and focus on our breath, that gives us that space. Meditation instructor Joseph Goldstein teaches that our breath is also an invitation to awakening. In meditation and in life, each time our mind and attention wanders, because it does that all the time, at least mine does, maybe not yours, but mine does. When our elephant is in charge, which happens so often, we can focus our breath and begin again, returning to the present moment. And each time we notice that we are distracted and we refocus, the moment that we do so, that is a moment of awakening. We go from being asleep to being awake. There is incredible grace in that invitation of each breath, that invitation to awakening. We live in uncertain times. I have said that a lot over these last couple of years, and no doubt I will say it again. Uncertainty can lead us to be anxious and afraid because our survival brain says that we are afraid of the unknown. And right about now, our survival brains are feeling a little bit weary because they've been working in overdrive these last couple of years. So now it is even more important to return to our breath, to calm our minds and bodies, and to heal our nervous systems. Scientists at Dartmouth say that a person who lives to be 80 years old will take about 672,768,000 breaths in their lifetime. That's more than 600 million invitations to awaken, to begin again. What grace and abundance we have in this gift of breath, this gift of life. So take a breath and take in the abundance of this gift.
I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
Today's second reading is an excerpt from the first chapter of My Grandmother's Hands, Racialized Trauma and the Pathways to Mending Our Hearts and Bodies by Resmaa Menakem. For the past 3 decades, we've earnestly tried to address white body supremacy in America with reason, principles, and ideas, using dialogue, forums, discussion, education, and mental training. But the widespread destruction of Black bodies continues. Why is there such a chasm between our well-intentioned attempts to heal and the ever-growing number of dark-skinned bodies who are killed or injured, sometimes by police officers? It's not that we have been lazy or insincere, but we've focused our efforts in the wrong direction. We've tried to teach our brain to think better about race. But white body supremacy doesn't live in our thinking brains. It lives and breathes in our bodies.
This month, we begin a new congregational program year, which will go through next June. And we did something a bit different this year, Sarah Lewis and I, by setting a theme that will guide and focus our offerings for worship and religious education for all ages. This year's theme is Building Beloved Community, with a focus on anti-racism and the practice of coming together in person, online, and in covenant. I'm going to say that again. Building beloved community with a focus on anti-racism and the practice of coming together again, online, in person, and in covenant. Over the year, we're going to explore all the many parts of that statement using monthly spiritual themes like covenant next month, accountability, and liberation. Now, there are many areas of justice and so many needs, so why focus on anti-racism? Well, there's a few reasons. One is that this congregation has identified 3 focus areas for its faith and action work: economic justice, climate justice, and racial justice. This congregation has a long and rich history of working for economic justice with a focus on homelessness. There is also an active environmental action team. They'll be hosting a forum after the service next Sunday. And while there have been some efforts to address racial justice here, in the past, it's an area that hasn't gotten as much attention. And so we are putting our energy and attention there this year. For me, anti-racism is an area that I feel called to work on for myself and for my community. It connects all other justice efforts. Every area of justice, economic, reproductive, climate, every one is impacted by racism and can be better understood if it is viewed through the lens of race. Inequality based on race is pervasive in the U.S. and embedded in our systems in ways that we are just beginning to understand. We have work to do, and it begins with us. One way that we've started that work is as a staff over the past year, we've been reading and discussing Menachem's book, My Grandmother's Hands. It has been a varied and rich conversation so far, and we're about halfway through, taking our time. With that study, I have come to understand and appreciate Menachem's assertion that education is necessary for changing our culture. Education is necessary, but not sufficient. Lasting change begins by knowing and healing our bodies. With my own work on anti-racism, I have come to understand over time how much racism lives in my body, in our bodies, and in our collective body. The fuel for racism is fear, and fear lives in our bodies. It doesn't live in our minds, it lives in our bodies. No matter how much we know, when our survival brain is triggered with danger, we will react to the danger of the other, the danger of shame or embarrassment, the danger of difference. In order to do the hard and necessary work of racial justice, we have to heal and calm our bodies long enough to give our thinking brain time enough to kick in and engage so that we can use what we have learned. And so we return to the breath. We need our breath to do the work of justice. Earlier, I mentioned the work of psychologist Rollo May. Here is his teaching with the final sentence added. Between stimulus and response, there is space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Our growth and our freedom. Each month this year, we've selected a spiritual theme that will invite us into deeper reflection on that theme and what it means in our lives. This month, as we gather again, our theme is welcome. As we explore that spiritual theme of welcome this month, I invite you to welcome your breath. This spiritual practice doesn't require a long meditation session or special equipment or even silence. It simply requires that we notice and return to our bodies and remember our breath. Take a breath now. There are many reasons that we sing together in worship, and we sing when we work for justice. It is inspiring to hear the words and the music. It uplifts our spirits, and it invites us to breathe together. When we sing together, we breathe together. And when we breathe together, we embody our interconnectedness, and it sustains us. It's how we sustain the work of justice. Just like my cat Simon, we all deserve to take a deep breath, that deep sigh of luxury and contentment. And when we are in need of connection, we can breathe, to feel that connection to ourselves, to each other, and to something greater than us, however you experience that. Everyone is worthy of the time and space to breathe. No matter how many times we are distracted or forget, our breath is always there, giving us the gift of life. And because we are alive, anything is possible. Let's practice breathing together as we sing together again.
When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
If you are online and have a chalice or candle, please join us as we extinguish our chalice with these words offered by the Church of the Larger Fellowship Daily Compass on September 4th. We breathe in and we breathe out. With our breaths, we focus our minds. With our breaths, we renew our intentions toward all of creation. With our breaths, we give life to our bodies. With our breaths, we spark our thoughts, we make possible our songs, we share substance with those around us, we connect with all beings, and we move with the wind. Spirit moves into us, Spirit moves out of us. Spirit moves through us. May this be so. Blessed be. Amen.
Before we go, I have a few announcements because this is a busy place and we've got lots of events coming up at OUUC this week. Melanie Ransom's talk show returns today, thank goodness, with special guest host Wendy Tanner, who interviews Melanie herself. Return to the sanctuary or the main Zoom room at 11:30 for this special event. We also invite you to an OUUC family picnic today from 1 to 3 p.m. at Lions Park. It's a potluck, so come and share food and build our community. Our Thursday evening events continue this week with a community dinner at 5:30 p.m., then games in the commons and classes and spiritual practices of various kinds around the building after. Our weekly Thursday evening spiritual practice features Troy with a musical meditation at 7 p.m., welcoming people online and in person. Next Saturday, plan to attend the OUUC Party for Peace, an all-ages outdoor event. We'll dedicate our new Peace Pole and share a potluck dinner on September 24th from 4 to 7 p.m. We hope to see you there. And last, after the service on September 25th, please stay around in person or online for a presentation by Lee First, Twin Harbors waterkeeper, titled Chehalis River at a Crossroads, Why a Flood Control Dam is Wrong, the Wrong Solution for Flooding in the Chehalis Basin. This event is sponsored by the OUC Environmental Action Team, and you can find them in the comments for more information. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for being here today.
I invite you to join together in singing our new benediction and rise in body and or spirit. You may still need the words. They're in your order of service or printed in the chat.